feeling. If you crush on me, you need to know my story. But don't get too close to me, cause I need my fantasy. Here I am.
Hey everybody, today we're going to talk to you about how to open a bookstore in 2023.
My name's Elizabeth Peters, and this is...
I'm Teddy Boucard.
And we own a bookstore. These are tips that are given to us. These are things that we've learned along the way, and we're here to share them with you now.
Awesome. Key point number one is finding out what your niche and or theme is going to be. And that ranges from a lot of different things, whether that's going to be a used bookstore like us. There's even wine and books. Sometimes we have event venue spaces in books. We even have kids books.
Comic books.
Comic book store. You could have even an anime bookstore.
And then the way that you come up with your niche is then going to launch all of your marketing material. So how you want to present yourself, the name that you come up with. Like, it doesn't work if you have all new books and you're calling yourself like secondhand stories or something like that. So however your niche is will then decide everything else coming up.
Key point number two. This is one of the most important keys. You want to definitely register for a DBA. What is DBA you asked for? We're going to tell you.
Doing business as. So that's the name that you're going to go by. So our business name is Red Rose Books, spelled R-E-A-D. So when you file for your DBA, this tells you if you can have that name for your business. So if there's another business called the Bookstore that's within a couple towns over from your bookstore, you can't have the same name, so you'll be denied. So this is a step that you need to then proceed with everything else that you're going to be able to do. This is the name that you're going to use to file for your taxes, for your EIN number, which is a employment identification number.
Key point number three, you want to research your target market and you want to research your target audience. These are very important things that you need to do before starting up a business.
Being able to cater to your audience will really help you grow as a business.
And when we say like research your target market, figuring out your target audience, going to your library, seeing what those people are looking for, talking to the local library and seeing what they need if they have a lot of people going in there. If not, going to the next town over and seeing like, hey, do you guys have a lot of people who are big literature? Seeing if there's big schools that are talking about and pushing the literature arts, or organizations nearby that are also doing that. Key point number four, gaining capital, funding, and maybe even loans. And research different organizations as far as what they offer. Here in Lancaster, we have organizations called Assets and Score. What they do for us is they help scale our businesses. Let's say we didn't have a business yet, we would go to them and pitch an idea to them and like, hey, this is what we want to do moving forward. What can you help us with? What they do is look at your business, help you with a game plan. They even have 10-week incubators where you can learn how to become a business owner and how to become a business entity. Now, you might not get that everywhere, but it's important to give it a look and see if what you have nearby.
Yeah, that is something I really wish that we knew when we first started, but we only found out about it a couple years into our business. But even though we've been in business, it is still helpful for us to talk to them.
And if you have a 9-to-5 job, stick with it for the next 6 to 8 months or even a year. The goal is to have your business and you want to make sure that you have the funds for that. You don't want to have any issues as far as emergencies. You want to make sure there's no issues. So you want to make sure you have the full funding. You want to take care of your inventory and all your products.
So finding a bank that works with small businesses a lot, finding the right person in that bank to use as your contact person is really going to help set you up for success. Key point number 5. So this is going to be a location. You're going to want to find a place that has great foot traffic, that has a lot of people in it already. We're right next to our central market in Lancaster, which is the oldest indoor farmers market on the East Coast. We're also right next to a coffee shop and one of the biggest theaters. So if people don't know about your shop already, they'll walk by it and find interest and come in.
It's really as simple as driving around your city or in the nearby city or the nearby city after that and just checking to see for lease signs, for sale, for rent size, for sale. If you're trying to buy the building, that's great too. But if most likely you're going to be renting, then looking out and finding out what places are for rent and seeing what they rent for. The worst thing they could tell you is no, but they probably won't. So calling out to see what the prices are, how much it's going to be a month, what they're looking for down payment. These are great things that you can call and ask. Even if you're still 6 months out, it's great to do this research beforehand. So that way you gain the knowledge and you can plan for the future.
Yes, and that actually goes back to one of our last points is when you find a location, know what your rent is, then you can start planning your financials.
Key point number 6, that's going to be marketing.
So the first step is set up social media accounts. They're free to use and they're relatively easy to use for everybody. So when you start your social media presence, you want to have a logo and a name and it's consistent. You want to create a brand for yourself so that when people see your logo or your name, they recognize you immediately. They know what your product is, they know what you're selling, and they know who you are.
Key point number 7, and that's purchasing your inventory. This ranges from a lot of different things. Since we're talking about bookstores, I'll give you little key points here. It's going to range from buying books, buying bookcases, buying tables, buying chairs, you know.
If you're buying books for a new store, you want to buy them wholesale, and you want to find your way to do that. So there are lots of websites that you can go to, and some can be regional, some are more independent authors, and some deal with the whole broad spectrum. With a used bookstore, we have a variety of ways of finding our books.
We've done anything from going to different estate sales on the East Coast, because we're located in Pennsylvania. We've gone to different book sales across the East Coast, and that is pretty much, that's our favorite way to go about. And even here locally, we have our local library, and every quarter they have a book sale. And for us, it's pretty much kind of sticking together with the literature arts and sticking together with the community, because we're able to support them in a sense as well.
We also use online vendors where we can buy bundles of books. This will be like a whole box of books for a lower price because you don't necessarily know what's coming in, but you know the genres that you're going to be filling in for.
Now, this was 7 key points on how to open up a bookstore in 2023.
We were only 23 and 24 when we opened up this bookstore. We always wish that there was something concrete that we could have looked at, like a checklist, some things that we needed to think about. Because when we had our soft opening, we were like, oh my gosh, we have never thought about this before. So it's always just good to have something to look at.
And we hope to bring more content to you guys like this, not only for people who want to open up a bookstore, but people who are just trying to open up a small business. Any questions or videos you want to see, let us know down below, and we'll see you.
Bye!